friends, how you doing? Vanessa back again. I wanted to just put this on video before I forget it because my menopausal brain can only carry so much luggage for a while before it kind of disintegrates into the ether. So I'm unemployed at the moment. Okay, so I live in the UK and I expect the world has their own versions of it. We have an unemployment office that we have to check into to make sure that we are letting them know how much work we're searching for, how many CVs we're sending out, and what we're doing to create work for ourselves, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of the time they disillusion you and make you feel bad about yourself, don't they? And make you think, oh, what you want to do is never going to earn you any money, so go and find a real job. Well, I used to, over the years, on and off, because January is a time where work kind of dries for a bit. Once the New Year's done and everyone's done their New Year's Eve work and whatnot, it kind of gets very slow until March. And I think I've got some hang-ups that I need to sort out. But today, I had that meeting with the unemployment office to assess how much work I've been doing to find myself employment. Well, usually I leave there feeling so disillusioned and hate going and think, oh, I've got to go home and do these lists of job searches and whatnot, but not today. Today, I had the best meeting I have ever had at the unemployment office. The best meeting. Oh, my job coach forwarded me on to a franchise, I suppose you can call it, and very uplifting business franchise of sorts, where they help you to find ways of doing things with your skills, starting a business, finding work in the field that you love. And they didn't turn around and say, oh, Vanessa, that's a waste of time. Go and work and fold T-shirts in Primark. They didn't say that. They didn't say, well, you used to be a PA in the 1980s, so go back and do that. Upskill yourself and become a PA again. They didn't say that this time. They did mention, how about working in schools again? And I thought, the last time I worked in a school, I worked in a secondary school and as a support teacher. The worst of the worst as far as school's concerned, because support teachers don't usually teach their subject and they don't know anything. So I sat there not knowing anything and they had to do maths and I was like, I don't know anything about maths. Anyway, so the last time I was in school, at the end of the school day, this youngster said, I'll see you at the gate, miss. And I was like, okay, I'll see you at the gate. And with that, I went straight home. I called my agency and said, this was the last day of me teaching in schools because there is no way in the world that I'm being met at the gate by a 15-year-old wanting to do me in. Nope. So I said goodbye to that. So today, when the angel said to me, how about working in schools teaching singing? I said, oh, I did that in the past. And then that kind of dried up. And so I became a support teacher. And then someone wanted to beat me up after school. So no, I don't think so. And then she said, well, what we're going to have to do is start a business with all of your current skills. And I said to her, well, I'm an actor and the job centre doesn't usually like actors or singers. And she said, but there's so much more you can do with your skills. Have you thought about honing a new business using your skills? Have you thought about finding a premises and teaching singing? And I said, well, I did used to teach it at home, and then it kind of dried up. Not because I wasn't good at teaching, but because the formats of getting paid wasn't quite working with some of those people I was teaching. I had some great students as well, and then had to pass them on to someone else to do the next stage. She said, well, why don't we upskill and revisit that? And I said, oh, yes, please. And then she said, what about teaching acting? And I said, I don't know who to. And she said, your peers, people in your age group, or people around your age group. I'm not asking you to teach youngsters, even though you could consider that. You could also go into Stagecoach or any of those stage schools and be a support teacher or a teacher or a part-time teacher or flexible teacher. And I was like, but I can't play the piano. And she said, that doesn't matter. You're a singer. You've got imagination. You're an actor, aren't you? I'm sure you've got some imagination. You know how to read, don't you? You know how to read scripts and plays and things, don't you? I said, yes, I can do that. So she said, well, let's think about doing something with that. And then she said, what about voiceovers? And I said, I've been trying to do that for a while. The thing is with voiceovers, though, I've done the courses and then I don't know what to do after that. How do I find a voiceover job? I've got friends that do it and I can ask them, but no one said, how do you build a voiceover CV? What do you do with the reels? Do you have to put a picture on the reels of yourself, or is it just your voice? No one said. No one's told me. I don't know. She said, well, let's find out. Let's find out. And I said, oh my goodness, seriously? And she said, have you had any business training? No, I've never had any business training. She said, would you think about doing some business courses? I said, yes, I'll think about doing some business courses. And she said, and I'd mentioned my friend Denise, who I brainstorm with an awful lot. We brainstorm about finding work, about extending our ranges as actors, about which direction we go as Black British actors. We've talked about it a lot. We're on a networking site. You know, we brainstorm a lot and then we leave each other and nothing happens. So this angel at the job centre said, what about networking? And I said, oh, what about networking? Oh, I don't know how to do that. I was at a party at the National Theatre. Was it? Wasn't last Christmas. It was the Christmas before last. And I was diagnosed with cancer at that time, but still went to the Christmas party. And I felt like a shy little wallflower, you know, not knowing who to talk to. I just turned up at this party and I didn't know what to do with myself. I talked to a few people and they were really nice, but what do you do after that? So she said, the angel at the job centre this is, she said, let's work on that. I think I floated out of that office today on the way home. I floated. And she said, I'll see you in 3 weeks' time. And in 3 weeks' time, I want to know which theatres you've approached for work, what you've done about looking for business courses, what have you done about teaching singing? And I want you to have spoken to at least 10 theatres by the time I speak to you in 3 weeks' time. I've never heard the job centre say anything like that. Nothing. In the years I've been on and off at the job centre, they've never, ever said anything like that. So I am absolutely over the moon. So what I'll do is also let you know what I'm doing, because if I let you know what I'm doing, then it'd be easier for me to let her know what I'm doing, because telling you means that I'm doing the work. If I'm left to my own devices without actually reporting to somebody along the way or talking about my feelings along the way, procrastination might just jump in and I won't do it. So I will probably be bouncing off you too. How exciting! A business course, starting up a business as an actor, teacher, teaching my peers. Wow. Never ever have I ever come across anyone in the job centre that's left me feeling so light and happy. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about my day. So love you loads. And we'll catch up with you soon.